All right, today we're going to be talking about James Holden. He's a British electronic producer from Great Britain. Um, he started off he started off as a producer making music, and then gradually made went into DJing and also making live performances. And James Holden was kind of at the beginning of 2000, well, kind of 1999, the end of the 20th century into the 21st century. He was a well sought after remixer of songs, and his what really made it, what put him in the spotlight, was his trance single that he put out, called Horizons. And many DJs, popular DJs like Nick Warren, um, let's see who else, Pete Tong from Radio One, sought out and played Horizons, and also John Digweed. So those three specifically DJs made put him into the spotlight because, especially Nick Warren and John Digweed, they both did. They were doing the Global Underground Mix series, and they put a lot of his singles on their mixes. And also Dave Seaman also put I think it was on Cape Town, Africa, that he put one of James Holden's trance or tech house singles on his mix. So to get a little bit about James Holden, he was studying mathematics at Oxford, and then he made that single Horizons, off of one of those free computer DAWs. He made it off of one of those free DAWs that you can get off the internet, and then, of course, once Pete Tong and John Digweed and Nick Warren got a hold of his amazing producer talent, then he was thrown into the spotlight. He's been on DJ Kicks, which is a good mix. I like his mix on DJ Kicks. Check it out. He also he remixed songs for Madonna, Britney Spears, Depeche Mode, New Order, Nathan Fake, Kieran Hebden, and Steve Reed. And so, of course, he created his own label, which is called Border Community in 2003. And on that Border Community, his own label, he put out his debut album, which was The Idiots Are Winning in 2006. And then in 2013, he put out The Inheritors, The Animal Spirits in 2017, and The Cambodian Spring OST in 2019. So, but today we're going to be reviewing an album that he put out. It was a collaboration he put out on his own music label, Border Community. It's called Outdoor Museum of Fractals with Camilo Tirado. It came out in 2016 on Border Community. it's basically two songs. The first song is James Holden, and the second song is Camilo Tirado. Well, actually, sorry. The first song is let's see here. This first song is a collaboration with James Holden and Camilo Tirado, and then the second song is by Luke Abbott, which is called 555 Hertz. And so two songs. The first song, the collaboration with James Holden and Camilo Tirado, Outdoor Museum of Fractals, is 46 minutes and 56 seconds long. Luke Abbott's song, or if you want to call it a song, these are songs. They're just really expansive songs, right? 32 minutes and 56 seconds. So I personally enjoy James Holden's and Camilo Tirado's collaboration. It starts off with these really nice synths, and then later on, like a few minutes in, like when I say minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes in, you can start hearing these like Congo beats or Congo beats or like timpani drum patterns that accompany the synths really well. Luke Abbott, I also listen to Luke Abbott's. I like the beginning of Luke Abbott's song, but as it progresses, it gets more and more out of, it gets really experimental, and the highs and lows of the song are kind of like, you can hear the treble being too high and the bass being too low, and I don't know if that's intentional, but maybe it was part of the song, like kind of a experimental use of those frequencies, right? But it is, for the most part, this album is an ambient experimental album. It's also IDM, which is intelligent dance music, which is kind of funny. Of course, like Aphex Twin is considered intelligent dance music, but you know, when that term of intelligent dance music is kind of funny. I mean, it's more like experimental, right? It's just a funny label, but it does exist. IDM, intelligent dance music. Of course, the Outdoor Museum of Fractals, that's a mathematics term where there's variations of difference within a certain family of things, like rocks or trees, or, you know, so the different variations of rocks. As you can see, the picture is 4 rocks and they're colored differently, but if you look at them closely, they all are assembled from the same material, essentially, you know, rock material. So I mean, I really like James Holden and Camilo Tirado's Outdoor Museum of Fractals. That one it reminds me of like Terry Riley or Steve Reich. It's the minimal classicalists composers. And in that same essence, you can kind of put that in the same basket, basically, because the synthesizer, it goes up, it goes down, it has melodies, and apart with that, there's the drumming, which is also uh, going up and down in variations. And I guess that's where it comes out to be, outdoor museum of fractals, because it's the music is basically like two instruments and then maybe the atmosphere in the background. But it when you look at it, it's basically a synthesizer and the drums, and the way it's composed to become a beautiful melody is really interesting. Luke Abbott is also, he starts off with this kind of like frequency that goes up, and then it just repeats itself, and then later on it starts having variations in how it's going, how the repetition is going along, which is interesting. But like I said, with Luke Abbott's experimental song 555 hertz, there's parts where I can hear it like going up so high that your earphones are cracking, or where it gets really low and it cracks as well. But so to say a little bit about Luke Abbott, he did a really good job with the beginning of the song, but at the end it kind of gets a little too experimental for me. Not that it's not so experimental that I can't listen to it. It's just that the mixing of the music is kind of off in a way. At least that's what I think. But James Holden's and Camilo Tirado's effort is amazing. It's beautiful. I really like it a lot. It is the longer track on the two. Out of the two tracks, it is the longer track, 46 minutes and 56 seconds, versus Luke Abbott's 32 minutes and 56 seconds. So half an hour to, about 45 minutes for James Holden and Camilo Tirado. So as far as this kind of music also reminds me of kind of like what is that group name? It's more of a classical crossover group called Kronos Quartet, which is they have this like the traditional classical setup, but they're more experimental in that they go out and search for world music that is interesting to play with the classical instruments. And in a sense, this is, I know James Holden, he went to Morocco to train with a very experienced Moroccan musician. If I can find it here, let's see, what was it? Well, okay, here we go. Animal Spirits, which is an album, not this, obviously not this one, but he I can kind of have a feel of what the Moroccan style, which the late master Mohamed Gouinia, and I'm sorry, I'm probably slaughtering his name because it's probably not pronounced that way, but Anyways, so James Holden, he started off with trance, with tech house releases, and doing a lot of remixes for really big names like Madonna, like Britney Spears, Depeche Mode, New Order, and then, you know, as he put out his new album, or his new label that he'd put out his debut album on, he's more and more experimenting with music, with going into the ambient long songs, you know, 45 minutes long, kind of like the Orb. Although the Orb kind of did with their 1992 release, where Blue Room is like almost 30 minutes long. It's kind of like that. But I think, you know, maybe later on in his career, he might go back to releasing shorter songs. But for this one album, it was just like an experimental ambient excursion. And kind of like Brian Eno and the album that Thursday Afternoon, I think, by Brian Eno, or also Brian Eno put out Neroli, Neroli, in 1993, and that is the most minimalist ambient record I've ever listened to. If you want to hear something strange and interesting, listen to Brian Eno's Neroli from 1993. Anyways, this album is obviously an ambient excursion for James Holden, and I think with what he did with Camilo Tirado is exceptional, and you should definitely listen to it. Listen to it on Bandcamp, and remember that if you buy through Bandcamp, the artist gets the most of the profit share. But anyways, so this is my review of his ambient excursion with Camilo Tirado, and also a little 30-minute song by Luke Abbott, which is good, but I like James Holden and Camilo Tirado's much better. Anyways, till next time, I'll see you in the next review. As far as giving this album a rank, out of 10 being, you know, exceptional, 1 being don't even bother listening, I would give this album probably a solid 8 out of 10, mainly because of James Holden and Camilo Tirado's Outdoor Museum of Fractals. Luke Abbott's is interesting too, but somewhere along the line, Luke Abbott's song kind of at the end kind of is something about the mixing I didn't like. But anyways, go ahead and listen to it. It's from 2016, and I'm signing off till the next review. Bye bye.